Peace and greetings. Peace and greetings. Welcome to Yod, the knowledge of Yod. The first symbol of the name Yud-Heh-Wav-Heh. You was not created by the name of Yud-Heh-Wav-Heh. You created the name. Yud is the name Yud-Heh-Wav-Heh. The first step, the first example, the first information, first point on how it's traced and made. There's a misconception floating around and has been floating for many years, many years. And I think it's time that that misconception is cleared up and set straight. Only to those who are wise. If you're not wise, then it won't be set straight because it's not meant for you. You don't understand it. But those of you who understand, here it go. I know that it says, when you have seen me, you have seen the Father. And all of you who think because you seen Yahshua back then, and all of those who think because they seen Yahweh ben Yahweh's flesh walking around, that they seen the Father. Yahweh ben Yahweh has indicated to you so many times, it's not about his flesh. It's not about his body. It's not about the attire that he wears. Those are all symbols. But you haven't seen the Father just because you've seen a body dressed up in some clothes, walking around and talking. That's the physical manifestation of the Father to a point. But that's not the Father in its entirety. You cannot even be in the form of a man and see the Father. It just can't happen that way. See, you need to take on the training that Yahweh ben Yahweh did before you can see the Father. You need to take on the training that Yahshua did in order to see the Father. See, the training that they took on, they came to my school. And I know you looking like, how could they come to your school? You weren't even there. You're so young. Travel outside of the body. Or as my mentor would say, close your eyes and listen to me, and you'll hear who's talking to you. They had to take on my spirit. Yahshua had to take on his Yud. Yahweh ben Yahweh had to take on his Yud. He had to understand that he could not see the Father as a man. He had to be changed from a man into God. And if you've been following me and been following God, you know that it's not about the word God, G-O-D, it's about Yud. The G was put there as a replacement for the Y. See? Let's go to Exodus chapter Exodus chapter 33. Exodus 33:20. And it reads, and he said, thou canst not see my face, for there shall no man see me and live. No man. You can't have a man mentality. You can't have an Adam mentality because man was named Adam. You can't have an Adam mentality and see the Creator and live. It just won't happen. You got to be God-like, Yud-like, with God abilities, with Yud abilities. And then you'll start to touch on something. Then your eyes will start to open up to something. But see, it's all about getting taught. Like I told you before, you thought that Moses went up in a mountain with some rocks and stuff and was up there listening to a voice speaking spookily and everything like that. No, mountain in the Bible is government. It also means a school, teaching. He had to go learn. So when you go to Exodus chapter 4 and you read from Exodus 4:1 all the way up to 16 or whatever it may be, whatever the scripture may be, you'll be listening to Moses being trained, Moses being taught. to take on God abilities. So when you look at Exodus chapter 4, let's see, verse, where is that? Verse 2. And the Lord Yahweh said unto him, what is in thy hand? And he, Moses, said, a rod. That's a rod. I know you want to get off into the dynamics of it being A and being first and everything like that, but it's not about that. See, that a rod has to change. Let's go to Exodus chapter 4, verse 20, and see what happened after Moses got schooled and got taught knowledge. What type of rod did he walk off with then? 20. And Moses took his wife and his sons and set them upon an ass, and he returned to the land of Egypt. And Moses took the rod of God in his hand. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Something changed. Something changed. It wasn't about that A, that thing that you think so much highly of saying, hey, it's first. The first point, chief. Da, 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 da. See, in order to see God, you got to even be beyond and past the first point. Ooh. You got to be equipped with the knowledge that's beyond the first point. Yud is the point of all things. Yud starts the point of all things. But before that point gets to the canopy, the paper, reality, Yud is already existing. Yud is infinite. Do you understand that? So just because you've seen Yahweh ben Yahweh's flesh walking around, you have not seen the Father. Just because you've seen him dressed up in a diadem and some garments with jewelry on it, you have not seen the Father. Just because you saw Yahshua or Yahshua walking around and teaching and performing many miracles, you have not seen the Father. You have to come to the school and learn so that you can get your A changed to a God. And that can only happen when you understand and know all about everything that I'm teaching you. Then you can relate it to Psalms. Let's go. This is what it will change to once you start understanding things. It will change to Psalms chapter 82. Verse 1. Yud, it say God, but Yud standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judgeth among the gods. Listen to that. After he do all of that, you got to understand what he been saying all this time in verse 6. I have said ye are gods and all of your children are the Most High. So even after you come to the realization that you are gods, children of the Most High, don't fear that your flesh in verse 7 is going to fall like men. Don't fear that. You've been changed to something greater. Because now you have seen the face of God and lived. You was able to see the face of God once you take on this Yud ability. You have seen the face of God and live. Isn't that a joy? Isn't that a joy? That should be a joy. Ooh, Yahweh. So, I'm waiting on you, Yahweh. I'm waiting on you, Yahweh.